Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young.
The history of Fred Beans, I think, is a great American entrepreneurial story. He started out in 1957 with a gas station. He's parlayed that today into 20 dealerships in southeastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. The values that he started with are the values that helped him grow, and that's what gives us our competitive advantage now. Fred Beans is a huge part of the fabric of the local community. He has given to so many causes, any sort of community outreach, charitable organizations.
I've always wanted to have a business where people came and felt trust and comfortable. I wanted to have an atmosphere where it's like Barnes & Noble, where you could bring your children and feel safe on a Saturday night. You know, it's a safe place to go. And I've always wanted to create that kind of a business relationship with our customers, one to trust and one where you can come back and feel good. And you know, if you like the way you're treated, we really make our living by repeat customers and referrals. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The community realizes how much we're involved and how much we care, and they reciprocate by rewarding us with their business and their trust when it's time to find a car dealership.
Don't find fault. Find a remedy.
When it comes to achieving operational excellence, we keep an open mind and we'll take inspiration from anything, anywhere. And one of the things we've adopted is Kaizen, which is Japanese for good and change. It's about eliminating waste, it's about economy of resources, it's about streamlining the process, it's all about adding value to the customer. An example of Kaizen at work here at the dealership is our service repair order pre-write process. We identified that in the process when the customer showed up for their appointment, we were spending too much time gathering road information that we already had in the file and not enough time interacting with the customer to find out what they needed. So we prepared all that information in advance. So when the customer showed up, the service advisor could spend time identifying their needs, helping them with their concern, and being prepared to recommend to them things that might benefit them for that visit. The end result was the customer spent less time, they were more satisfied with the visit, and frankly we enjoyed a little increase in sales, but they were all items that benefited the customer. It was a win-win for everyone. Kaizen can face the customers as well, and one way it faces the customers directly and in a powerful way is the cleanliness and organization of the facility. Fred has always said that there's two things a dealer should be able to buy regardless of business conditions and regardless of sales, and that's a clean facility and a high customer satisfaction score. They are non-negotiables that should exist in any business environment, and we feel our shop and our showroom, our overall facility is the cleanest in the industry. One of Fred's signature phrases and signature beliefs is ask why 5 times. He feels that you probably will get to the truth of a matter and the root cause of something and give you a chance to fix it if you ask why 5 times. It's part of the Kaizen philosophy as well. It helps you to streamline things, but you really don't know what the problem is until you get to the root cause. So an example of that would be if, let's say a car was left out overnight, and you'd say, well, why is that car left out overnight? Well, because the lot was blocked. And you say, well, why was the lot blocked? Well, the lot was blocked because we didn't have the keys to move a particular car. And you'd say, well, why don't we have the keys to move that car? Well, they weren't on the keyboard. And you say, well, why weren't they on the keyboard? Well, because they were at a salesperson's desk. Well, why aren't they at the salesperson's desk? Because the salesperson wasn't grounded in one of the basic ground rules of doing business at Fred Beans, that there's never any keys at your desk. They always have to go back on the board. We wouldn't have known that unless we asked why 5 times.
Quality means doing it right when no one is looking.
One of the challenges of being a large dealer group was our fleet services. We had operations in 2 states, at over 12 locations, at 15 different franchises. So we decided to consolidate the operations here at the Ford dealership. We were able to save a tremendous amount of money on personnel, on rent, on inventory costs, on maintenance. And in streamlining the fleet operation, it allowed us to grow our fleet deliveries to over 5,000 a year, and frankly to do so at a lower cost and a higher level of efficiency for our customers, and also put us in a position to grow that even further. Previously, we had an accounting department in each of our 15 to 20 dealerships, and what we found was we were not getting consistent processes, we were not getting consistent reporting. What we did was we centralized our accounting office into one area. And what that's provided for us is great accountability at the store level for Fred. He can see the same reporting and compare it across dealerships. And it's also obviously saved us a tremendous amount of money and economies of scale. This accounting department handles over 20,000 car deals a year and does so, you know, at probably half the cost of what it would have been to have each store handle it separately. BDC is a challenge for a lot of dealerships. We decided to address that challenge by making everything standardized, making sure everybody's working from the same scripts and the same blueprint, which allows us to have accountability. There's no question about what needs to be done on a daily basis. They even work on a priority of actions. They know what needs to be done first, second, and third. Also, we thought that the visibility and transparency was huge to motivating people and letting them see what their accomplishments are versus their peers, and giving me as a manager an opportunity to walk into the department and at a glance see what their progress is for the day, see who's doing well, who needs help, and allow us to manage quickly and correct quickly if we get off course. Chances are you've been going to the same doctor for many years and maybe even your whole life, and they know your case history, they know your body. We decided to take that same approach with our service department. We wanted to treat cars like doctors treat patients. We wanted them to interact with the same advisor and the same technicians on a consistent basis, so they would know the history. They would be able to serve them much more efficiently in the long run. As a result of that approach, we have found that we have a much higher degree of customer loyalty than the average dealer. We service the vehicle much longer than the average dealer does. We see it as it gets older because of that bond that's been developed, and that's a tremendous benefit to us as far as service revenue and customer retention. Another opportunity we identified about 3 years ago was a commercial and fleet truck business. And given Fred's desire and willingness to reinvest in the business, he went ahead and we built a separate truck shop. We invested in our current truck shop from a standpoint of tools, mechanics, and processes and people. It was about taking these existing relationships that Fred's had with local businesses for 50 years and just converting them into a business relationship. And we've reaped tremendous rewards from that.
Employers only handle the money. It is the customer who pays the wages.
The approach to customer care at Fred Beans is pretty simple. And again, I keep coming back to the community, but if you do wrong by somebody in the local community, we all know the damage of word of mouth. We will do almost anything to make it right with a local customer. We bend over backwards to make the experience memorable, and if we have a problem, we just want to fix it and make it right. Fred always says he's got 8 dealerships here in Doylestown. If one Fred Beans dealership does wrong by a customer, they're going to shun all 8 of them for the future. So we're all about just making it right. An example of getting big by staying small is the fact that on every salesperson's desk is a pledge that Fred puts on there with his personal phone number, his picture, and the invitation to the customer to call him 24/7 anytime with any problem. And that sets an example from the top of customer satisfaction, of dedication to doing the right thing by the customer, that all the employees have to follow. Every salesperson's desk has that pledge on it and nothing else, what we call a why buy book, which gives the customer a lot of testimonials as to why it's good to do business here at Fred Beans. So we want the presentation to be clean. We want the customer to know they're in a place that cares and a place that's had past successes with customers.
A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be embarrassingly large.
Fred Beans is actually famous for his what he calls his bargain lot, and we do a tremendous business in selling these vehicles that are $6,000 or $7,000 and under. And I know a lot of dealers are afraid to get into that business because they feel if they sell a customer a car in that price range that it might develop a problem and hurt their reputation. We found quite the opposite, and people are thrilled that a dealer is willing to provide them with his service, sell cars in this price range, to give them an idea, a proper idea of the condition of the car, and be there to do it for them. It's just a tremendous niche for us.
You don't have to hold a position in order to be a leader.
We're all about growth from within. We want to promote people from within, to have people grow in the Fred Beans culture, to be a beaner, as Fred calls them. And we feel the way we can do that is to first empower them to do their job. We are big into training. We make sure they're oriented properly, trained properly, have the tools to help customers and grow. But in addition to that, Fred's made a huge investment in a local community college. We call it our Growers Program. People that we identify as potential long-term employees and managers are sent to this college for leadership training, for management training, and it's a tremendous experience for them. I just attended a graduation ceremony, and it was very, very heart-rending. These people really felt like we helped them grow as people and grow as potential leaders. That's a bond to the company that you can't buy with money. Our weekly circle meetings had a unique start. Fred was actually in a Lowe's one morning and he saw a bunch of employees in a circle. So being Fred, he just walked up and busted in and said, "What are you doing?" And they said, "Well, every morning we get together in a quick circle. We update our employees on the state of the business, where we are versus sales goals, any HR initiatives, things like that. We just feel it's proper and good to keep open communication with them." So Fred loved that idea. And a couple of years ago, he urged me to do that here at the Ford store. And I've been doing it ever since, and it's really, really a valuable time to get the employees together, to let them know what the state of the union is, if you will, where we stand on reaching our goals. One of the key elements of the circle meeting is always to publicly recognize someone's success. We'll read positive survey responses, or we'll talk about exceptional sales performances. We always close with some trivia to make it fun, and it's just a good way to relate to our employees and let them know they're part of the bigger picture.
You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do.
The approach we take of just doing almost anything to satisfy a customer has led us actually to win the President's Award in back-to-back years, 2012 for Ford and 2013 for Lincoln. And we feel that approach does keep our CSI high because Ford's interested in their customers being taken care of, and so are we. We're very proud to have won the President's Award 2 years in a row. We feel it's a validation of all of our hard work, all of our efforts, all of our dedication. And really now we feel like we've raised the bar for ourselves moving forward. Anything less than that sort of performance in the future I think would be considered a failure. I think to meet our customers, exceed our customers' needs, we need to strive to win this award every year.
To do more for the world than the world does for you, that is success.
One of the key reasons for Fred's success over the years is the ability to maintain the relationship with the customer after the sale. And the key strategy and program that we feel gives us that advantage is our Auto Rewards program. It's a loyalty program and allows the customer to get free lifetime Pennsylvania state inspection. It allows them to earn money back on their services you can use towards the next purchase of a vehicle. It gives them benefits or discounts at local vendors, which again ties into the whole giving back to the community and relationship with local vendors. And 3 or 4 times a year we have events that we invite these customers to. We feel this is really unique. We take them out to a minor league ball game, or we take them to a movie night, and we feel that just absolutely cements the relationship that we have with them.
Thank you, Fred.
I think I've been a very blessed man to be in this community and have such great customers, and this is kind of our way of saying thanks. So on behalf of our family to you, we'd like to thank you for being here tonight.
Coming together is a beginning. Keeping together is progress. Working together is success.
One thing I've noticed over the years is Fred is always willing to reinvest in the business and the facility, and many dealers aren't willing to do that. And not only does that make it a great workplace for people from a facility standpoint, but it sends a message, I think, to our employees and our customers that we're here for the long term. We're interested in doing the right thing. We're interested in being world class and showing the world that we feel that way.